This is episode 64 of the Rise Up Podcast. We're a morning radio show hosted by Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life, a network of stations across New York and Pennsylvania. Our podcast is a weekly conversation that will help you think and grow in your faith. If you haven't already, subscribe today so you don't miss a single episode, and find out more about our show at familylife.org.
It's Steve, Terese, and Tim, helping you to rise up on Family Life, a friend you can turn to.
Music is such a powerful tool, especially when it comes to sharing about God. What is one song you would play to share Jesus with someone? That's what we're talking about today on the Rise Up Podcast.
I had a wacky, wrong outlook of what Christianity was before I gave my life to Jesus in my early 30s. I used to think that it's like, well, Christians are, they're like too good, and yeah, it's nice and everything, but I can't be quite like that, and their life's probably pretty good, and I don't know, anytime I would mess up, I can't be like that. So it was a wrong version of what Christianity is. So when we're thinking about songs that really reach the heart of, maybe let's take someone like the old me that believe that okay, I can't be that good and nothing bad happens to Christians. I think a song that really means a lot to me is Laura Story's Blessings. And if I could have, let's say, a person who doesn't believe in Jesus hear lyrics like, what if trials of this life starts like that? It's like, oh, okay, well, I'm going through trials. Or we cry in anger when we cannot feel you near. And it's like, okay, well, I probably felt like that. Or we doubt your goodness. We doubt your love. And so when I hear lyrics like that, it still speaks to me today, but I would love to share that and those lyrics and the song with someone who doubts God, who doesn't believe there is a God, who feels God doesn't care about me.
Yeah, I love that you're saying that, Steve, because I feel like one of the biggest obstacles to Jesus, to the church, for people is how bad the world is. Well, if God is as good as you say he is, like, look at how terrible things are. Look at what happened. I just think like the raw pain of our experience keeps people from accepting Jesus sometimes. And that's why the first time I heard this song was so powerful for me, and it's why I would pick it to share with somebody who doesn't know Jesus. Terese, it was just after the Buffalo Tops supermarket shooting.
Oh, yeah.
That you played here on Family Life for the first time, Anna Golden's Take It to Jesus.
I remember that song.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that song this past weekend.
Yeah, it hit me like a ton of bricks in the context of what we had all just seen happen, this horrible tragedy. You're like, how do you explain this? How do you say to somebody God's still good after this happens? And then the words of that song, when your questions don't have answers and you just can't understand it, when your mind just won't stop running and the tears just keep on coming, you don't have to explain it. He hears you before you can speak. That's the heart behind Take It to Jesus, that song from Anna Golden. And I feel like that speaks to a day and age where we see it constantly on our phones and our news feeds. We can't escape the pain in our own lives or in the whole world's pain. And that's why I think Take It to Jesus is one where I'd want to say to somebody, hey, look, you might not know him yet personally, but let me show you how we can pray to our loving God.
For me, I love the power of music in being able to teach. You know, if you have trouble memorizing scripture, there are a lot of scriptures set to music that you can listen to, and it just kind of helps you memorize it. And so when I hear a song that I feel like explains so much about our faith in a beautiful, melodious way, I want everyone to hear it. And for me, recently, that song has been What a Beautiful Name. And, you know, it talks about how Jesus is the Word, how he was at the beginning of creation, which is biblically true. It talks about how Jesus came to earth, brought heaven down, how great our sin was, and how death had to be the payment for our sin. But how death couldn't hold Jesus, how the veil was torn, how he ascended back to heaven and is there now, and how we'll be together again, how we have so much power in that name of Jesus. And so if there was something that I could share with someone, especially who doesn't know Jesus or understand him completely, it would be that song, because I feel like it does such a good job of encompassing so many truths about him that we sometimes overlook. Now, no song could perfectly sum up everything about God. I mean, you would have to take the entire Bible and then set it to music along with commentaries that explain all of the nuances and details. But when it comes to a song that kind of opens the door, kind of opens my heart to be able to worship him for all that he is, that is the song that does it for me.
And I'll take it back and wrap it around to the end of Laura Story's blessings. I brought up all those doubts, the doubt of God's love, the doubt of his goodness, and other lyrics like when friends betray us or when darkness seems to win. It's like, yeah, as an unbeliever, I can understand that. I mean, I get that. But Laura Story does a what if, what if? Because we're acknowledging bad things happen. But what if my greatest disappointments or the aching of this life is the revealing of a greater thirst this world can't satisfy? So, the song, the lyrics are are these things going on just blessings in disguise. They look bad, and yes, they are bad in our life, but we serve a God who's so much greater than all the bad that's going on. And so a song, those are ours. You probably have your own because it's different for everybody. But use everything. Use all the tools that God has given you, including his music, to spread his word, his joy, and his message.
Sharing the message of hope. It's Rise Up with Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life.
I'm thinking Tim has his official ranking of theologians.
His favorite theologians.
Like coming in at number 5, it's Luther, right? Probably somewhere in there. You've got to hold. No, you're saying no, huh?
Number 1, though. I have a feeling we're
Wait,
going,
is it R.C. Sproul?
It's going to have to be C.S. Lewis.
Man, I was so close to R.C., the C.S.
Yeah, well, any good theologian has those, initial names.
Right. Okay, so I read this from C.S. Lewis. I knew you would love this. When the whole world is running toward a cliff, he who is running in the opposite direction appears to have lost his mind.
Oh, look at that. That's so good.
And I was like, wait a second. I've heard that before.
Huh?
I've heard that before. Do you remember when you were a kid and your mom said, well, if all your friends jumped off a cliff, would you? Your mom is like a great theologian.
Yes.
We weren't sure how you liked your coffee, so we didn't make any. Hope that's okay. It's Rise Up with Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life.
I really don't know how to describe this. I can't come up with the exact words because I'm a little confused. Here's the situation. Not an unusual situation because it deals with potholes. Everybody has dealt with potholes before. And this guy in his neighborhood, there was a pothole at an intersection right near where he lived, and he complained. And nothing happened. He complained again, and nothing happened. Neighbors complained, nothing happened. So he decided to take a little action. And so at this intersection where there was this hole about a foot deep.
Oh, that's big.
I know.
That's
big. I mean, he said it could hurt a car. You
definitely could.
Yeah. So what did he do? He planted a tree right there in
the middle of the intersection.
Right. Planted a tree. So and to me, that's a little bit passive aggressive. That's the only way I can describe it.
But that's a lot of work though. That's active passive aggressive. Like planting a tree is pretty active.
But planting a tree, I mean, it's good for the environment, good for air quality. So that's kind of kind. So that's an active passive aggressive kindness.
But it's very random to see a tree sprouting from the middle of the road.
Yeah.
I'd call that a random act of active passive aggressive kindness.
Yeah, that's how I was going to describe it. Exactly. Yeah.
Come closer to the radio so we can see you. Wow, you look great today. This is Rise Up on Family Life.
Actual resurrection of Jesus from the dead? Yeah, that's true. A lot of new faces at our church, and that happens at Easter. Some are family and friends in town visiting, and some are there because, Easter's a good day to be at church, right? That's one reason why I'm really thankful to be a part of a group of people that shamelessly believe that Jesus really did come back from the dead. We really believe it. It's not a fairy tale, not a moral lesson or just like a metaphor. No, it really happened. And that's why I like something our pastor said yesterday about the resurrection, that it's too good to be true. It's just that one little thing. Like, it is true. It's too good to be true. And it is true. Yes, we really believe He is risen.
Anyone else wish morning started just a little later? Yeah, we get that. It's Rise Up with Steve, Terese, and Tim on Family Life.
Can I borrow your eraser? I need an eraser because I keep a list.
Okay.
I keep a list, and I have to update my list here. I keep a list of the weirdest chicken facts that I've ever found. It's right here.
Oh, I've seen that like scroll you have.
Right.
It's very long.
Yeah,
list.
exactly. It's a long list, but I need to now erase my latest entry to put the newest entry of the weirdest chicken fact I have ever heard.
The weirdest chicken fact Steve has ever heard.
Thank you for that
I
introduction.
was about to say we should have had the pre-recorded introduction for that one.
Well, here we go. Apparently, chickens. Now, the first part is not the weirdest chicken fact, although it's weird. The follow-up, the ending, is the weirdest. Okay.
All right.
I didn't realize that chickens that see another chicken bleeding tend to attack it.
What?
They see a chicken. I know. Isn't that weird? Yeah, exactly. So they see the blood and they attack the blood, and that's weird enough. But
I'm not
here's the
laughing at the
weirdest
chicken.
part.
That's
Here it
weird,
is.
but-
Early 1900s. There was rose tinted chicken glasses that were marketed to farmers so the chickens could wear them and not see the blood, so they wouldn't attack
each
other. Can you imagine just seeing chickens wearing rose tinted little glasses? I mean, the spectacle that would be.
May the blessings of the Lord be with you in all that you do today. This is Rise Up on Family Life.